Hello Scorpio, this is Annette's Astrology Corner and this is your forecast for July. And before I talk about July, I need to talk to you about something else, and I feel out of everybody you will get me. I lived with a Scorpio. In fact, most every significant relationship I've had has been with Scorpios. And I lived with my daughter, and she was a Scorpio, and she had this weird ability to connect to dark energy, which is why I came up with my inspiration to write my articles on dark and light empaths, which is on my website. It is because she understood realms that I didn't. Now, I connect to energy. She could always, she could sense dark energy, and I really don't have that skill. I can sense when something bad is going to happen that is endangering somebody. Let's say I've done that all my life through dreams. Mostly it's when I'm unconscious. Mostly it's when I'm taking a nap, but there have been times that my spidey senses have went off so strong that I've said, hey, please don't go home. And there was a huge, foggy occurrence that they would have died on the road. Like, I've had instincts like that, but I am not a psychic, nor can I can see dark energy. I really can't. In fact, I have this really irritating habit of doing nothing but see things on an unrealistic scale. I make light out of all energy, and that is very frustrating because some people are dark and some people are ominous and some people you shouldn't invest your time in. And I don't have, because energy is something that I always strive to manifest at its highest form. I always see people at their highest or their potential for that energy level. And so I don't really have that instinct. Well, my daughter did, and so she could really, keep me on task, which is why I like Scorpio energy. And that's why I think if you're a light empath, you kind of need a dark empath so that they can forewarn you of the dark roads ahead, and the light empath can lighten the roads of the dark empath. So I believe there's a beautiful union that goes between the two and really connects. And I believe that they're drawn to each other. I believe that's why I've always had, most of my significant relationships have been with Scorpio or a Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, Scorpio something. They've had a predominant Scorpio energy in them. The reason I'm talking about this is because I started seeing things about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They were dark, fuzzy energies. They were humanoids. They had like a human appearance, but they were just, I would notice them at home. I would notice them mostly, I noticed them out in public. So I would see them by a tree or walking across the lawn but there was just this dark, fuzzy appearance to them that I couldn't make it out and I didn't understand it. But I saw it so much that I asked a couple of people about it, and they're like, oh yeah, you're crazy, Annette. And so I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk about it with anybody because I'm embarrassed. But as time went on, there were too many occurrences for me to ignore them. Then one night I went to bed and, had a really good night's sleep, but I dreamt that one of those fuzzy humanoid dark things that had no human characteristic whatsoever, it was just more or less this silhouette of this dark silhouette of this shape, told me, hey, if you do this list of things on my list, your life is going to be benefic, and get on this list right now. And I mean, you can't wait. This has to happen now. And I was like, it was so major and such an eye-opening experience that I actually went and wrote down everything and really followed up the next day. A couple days later, I had this minor fender bender in the financial area, and it just reiterated, yeah, I do need to embark on that, because look, that really makes a significant difference in how, if my insurance pays out, how it's going to pay out. Mars being in Cancer It rules, well, it rules a lot of things. It just made sense that all this stuff was happening to me. Then I noticed that I'm very, very in tune with energy, but I also noticed that I'm having a lot more anxiety than normal about energy, but I'm not having anxiety. Normally, I connect with people and I feel anxiety through people, but this was just in general, just anxiety all the time. I was very drained. I've been very drained for almost 2 months, and to the point where I thought, do I have a health problem? Because I'm very tired. I could sleep for 12 hours, and I don't like sleep. In fact, sleep is annoying to me, and I would like to only sleep 2 or 3 hours if I could get. If I could take a pill and never sleep, I would. And so the need to sleep was substantial for me. And I started reconnecting and having my dreams again about people and about, not about the purpose. The life purpose thing only happened once, but I just felt like something was going on. Something beyond what I normally experienced with my little powers as they be. And I couldn't quite explain it. And unfortunately, I don't have any significant Scorpios in my life on a day-to-day basis right now, because my daughter moved out. And so I don't have somebody to bounce this off of, and it's been driving me insane. Then how I do videos is I look at primary energies in the chart for the month, and I really, really obsessively research those energies. I want to feel the energies. I want to know the way it thinks. I want to know how to respond to energy. I want to know how to manipulate it. And the only way that you know anything is if you really dig deep down to the heart of it, down to the Pluto, right? And just really get to the heart of what makes energy tick. And that involves a substantial amount of my time, which is why I say I have very little time understanding how to manipulate energy. It's you know, I think that's my life purpose and my life's work. So I was researching it out like I always do. I was getting ready. I put on all the videos of the substantial energies, and they're playing in the background while I'm curling my hair and putting on my makeup. And I put in the energy about about Mars and Cancer, because it's a debilitated energy, and I wanted to know a lot about debilitation, and it's a Vedic astrology type concept more than a Western astrology concept. And so, I just put on one of my favorite Vedic astrologers, and, it played the video, and I was just, I was enjoying my tea. And the very next video that comes on usually is you say Mars and Cancer, and it goes on to the next Cancer video, and then it goes on the next Mars Cancer video, and it keeps playing them all out until there's no more Mars Cancer videos, and then it goes on to, okay, whoever that last person was, it's the next video in their series. But this one it just went on to the Vedic astrologer that I had listened to the very first time. It went on to his next video, which is very unusual. And he talked about how he had been having similar drained feelings, health issues, not really hungry. Like, I have the exact opposite. I'm starving all the time, and I'm really needing to, ignite my pleasure sector thanks to Jupiter and Leo. But it was really hitting him hard, and he wanted to talk about it because he was feeling like there was a message there. And it explained everything about what I had been feeling. Now, I've done no research. I know nothing about this. I'm not on any forums. I'm not connected to anybody who knows metaphysical stuff, except for people on my Facebook. So when I had that weird dream, I put on my Facebook, has anybody ever had an experience like this before? Because it's tripping me out. And several people said, yeah, there are forums. There's a huge awakening, and but I didn't have time to pursue it. I was working my 10-hour days, and I really honestly knew that it's something I probably should research somewhere down the line, like 50 other things, but I really hadn't got to it. And it's okay, because I don't really have to have this answer right now for some reason. I have faith that everything is for a reason, so I don't really need to research it. But what he was saying to me resonated, and I truly believe he was my messenger. I receive messages. I receive messages through music. I receive messages through people. I receive messages through energy. I receive a lot of messages. And that is my connection. I am not psychic. I just receive spiritual messages. I feel like, and I don't always understand them, and I don't really know what I'm doing half the time. I just go on a strong feeling, and that strong feeling I use as my guide to interpret what the message is. That's what I do. Nothing that big of a deal. But his message spoke to me, and I knew I had to bring it to you before I brought my message. And the reason I say that is because he put out his video, and then he got 14,000 hits in like an hour, which shut down his server, and so he had to get a better server because there is a mass ascension happening. And so many people are having these symptoms, and people want to be explained why. You know, I have a strong connection to my faith. I don't need to know why. I have faith that in time, my spiritual guides will show me my ascension plan, and it will guide me, and I will follow. I submitted to all of this in 2014, in October of 2014. So I'm completely submissive to energy. So I don't need to research it anymore. I don't need it to be logic-based. It's faith-based. But I'm fascinated by the fact that there's a mass ascension going. I'm fascinated by the fact that 14,000 people felt the need to contact him because they were feeling these feelings that I'm feeling, and I'm not crazy, and I'm like everybody else. And you know what? I get to talk about it now in a public place in front of everybody. I don't have to hide it. I always want to hide all of this stuff because I think people are going to think I'm crazy, and that's why I love Scorpios, because your minds are open to this realm because you dive in the dark realm. Pluto's your ruler, so you understand energy that can't be explained. You have a connection, and so it's such an honor to talk to Scorpios about this. If you guys want to leave comments, that's great. I work a 40-hour week, so I try to really respond to comments, but please leave your comment if you feel compelled. You guys, Scorpio energy really resonates with me, and I would really love to hear your input and how you route seeing dark things. These energies are not bad. I'm not scared. They are observing me for damn sure. They're looking at me. They're observing me, but they're not scary. Trust me, I felt scary. They're not scary. So I don't know if that's something you guys like, scary, and deal with scary, and scary energy really resonates with you, and you have a connection to it. But dark energy would certainly be something I would love to talk about, what you feel these things are. And I would love to have some time to research all this stuff. I just barely have enough time to research all of the different ways I want to go in astrology before I have to work a 40-hour week job. So let's get started with your July reading. So we're going to have a full moon in Capricorn. And I think for the most part, Scorpio energy and Capricorn energy just get each other. Do I think they have conflicts? Yes. Do they have a different approach on life? Yes. Is one not emotional based and one is emotional based? Yes. So there is a difference in the way that you guys pursue stuff. But for the most part, you guys are very, very fixed in the way that you like to pursue things. So once a Capricorn energy gets its mindset on something, it really achieves it. And that's respected by the controlled Scorpio. And I think that's why Capricorn energy and Scorpio energy, sometimes they're just those oddballs that shouldn't really get along, but get along. Now, do they have a ego-based conflicts? Absolutely. But, and because they're a different take. One bases a lot on intuition and emotion and depth, and the other one bases it on material pursuits. And so, there's not a lot of emotion that's involved in that. And, but for the most part, the control is what each other admires in each other's energy. And so I think that that's why they're drawn together. So Mars, your ruler, has been debilitated and in Cancer. So I think you have been feeling frustrated. You want you back. You want your drive. You want your force. You want your warrior energy back. But it's sitting in the emotional depths of Cancer. So not only are you this water energy that is bound to Pluto and its depths, you also have this need to nurture and be there for others. And I think you're being pulled. It's very difficult because you want to move forward, but you have a personal conflict between being there for the ones that you love and pursuing what you want. And so I think there's just this struggle of not knowing what to do. It's debilitated in Cancer for a reason. You have this masculine energy, this alpha male energy stuck in the kitchen, cooking. So, it's sitting there going, are you freaking kidding me? I don't care about cracking the egg. And so you just crack it on the side. Shells go in there. And you're like, this is stupid. I'm not going to follow a recipe. Can I just do it? Like, you're going to feel stuck. So you're going to want to be out there storming the hill, but you got to be handling family matters. And that's frustrating. And I think that that's why this is an agitated and afflicted full moon for every sign. I think for you, you're going to be extremely sensitive to it because Cancer is sensitive right now. This energy is sitting in Cancer's opposite house, and you're very connected to Cancer energy. And so you're going to be feeling this afflicted moon as well. And it's a tough moon. It's a tough moon. You have both your ruling planets, Mars and Pluto, are going to be opposing each other. And here you have this debilitated Mars that wants to go kick, tail and take some names. And you got Pluto over here saying, let's build a strong foundation at home. And you know what? You're finding some weaknesses in yourself. You're seeing some behavior issues in yourself. You're dealing with some control issues. You're dealing with, I want to settle down. I want to be with somebody, but you know what? I'm feeling like trapped in a ball and chain. And I think you're just really not sure of how to proceed. You also have Uranus trining this mess of energy, this conjunct energy. And so I think you just want to get out. You want to look at your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. You want to expand. You want to break free of the shackles of this Cancer-driven energy. But it's not time yet. There's a message here. It's through communication. You're going to be forced to talk about something that you may not want to talk about. And it's going to be based on reality. It's going to make you feel like you don't have all the control, which is what you like. And so this moon is just going to be like this power struggle day of like, do I manipulate the situation to get what I want? Do I passive aggressively talk about it and manipulate the situation to get what I want? Or do I try to learn from it and focus on the bigger picture, my grander purpose, the whole reason that I'm here, there's a lot that's going on in this full moon. Full moons show the light in the dark areas of your life, which is usually everybody's emotional states. So even though we see our lives right now being okay, this energy comes in and says, yeah, I see it being okay, but I'm going to show the light on this little corner over here, and I'm going to tell you why it's not okay. And that's why you see a lot of endings happen at the end of a full moon, because it's basically a light's being shown on the shadowy area of your life. It's the full moon coming out in the shadows of the darkest realms of your life in the Pluto. Not that you're not in tune with this energy. This isn't going to be a terrible energy. It's just going to be an energy where you don't feel like you have a lot of control over the situation. And that's going to frustrate you. And you don't even have your ruling planet up to full speed to go in there and kick the tail it likes to and demand what it wants. And you don't have it. You have this nurturing energy, this feminine energy mixing with your masculine energy. And you're just like, blah, blah. Like you're just not yourself. Just expect that. On the 8th, you're going to have a fantastic day. It's full of gorgeous trines. Your ruler, Mars, is going to be working with the Sun and Mercury, and all going to be trining beautiful Neptune. So for you, again, this is hopes, dreams, wishes. This is the big picture. This is longevity. This is a spiritual awakening. I believe Scorpios are right up there with getting some of the largest. I think they might even be before. They're like at the forefront of getting this awakening because they're so in tune with things that can't be explained. I think they're going to be really amazing energies to follow down the line. I think it's amazing energy to tap into. I truly, truly, deeply do. I think this day is just going to be about learning to look at things on the scale of like fantasy. Like if I really picture this, if I really want this, can I manifest it? And there's an actual possibility that you may manifest something amazing, or you may get an awakening in your career life purpose for sure. Then on the 13th is the day that I like to call the Yin and Yang day. It's a balancing of energy. The Sun and your ruling planet are going to be conjunct, and they're both still in debilitated Cancer, and they're going to be squaring Neptune. So again, this is a reality-based energy. It's wanting you to talk about something. It's wanting you to learn about it. And then you have these energies in here saying, okay, I know that you saw this outcome, but let me show you what it really is going to be. I know that you had this fantasy about you wanted this, the way that you wanted this to go, but this is how it's really going to go. This is very futuristic thinking. This is 12th house energy talking. This is the accumulation of all signs rolled into one beautiful planet that's sitting in retrograde saying, let's tweak this, let's fine tune this, let's get your fantasies on board with your reality. This is stop checking out and going into your fantasy realm. Let's face some reality about what you're currently feeling. It's just one of those days where, you know, you've got Venus and Jupiter trining Uranus, right? But you've got your Mars in a square with Cancer. So I just feel like at times if something sets you off, it's going to really set you off. But if you're feeling really good, you're going to feel really good. I think the balance is just meet somewhere in the middle, because I think if you feel like you're challenged in pleasurable experiences or in creative endeavor, or if you're being challenged in the love and romance, I believe that you are going to go through this deep internal experience where you really look at things on a large scale, where you're looking at everything and you're thinking, you know, is this going to take me to that realm that I want to go to? That next level in my life. You may have a spiritual awakening. I believe that Scorpios are going to be like me. They're just going through stuff they can't quite explain, but that the energies are speaking, and you may be one that they're speaking to. Then we have a new moon in Cancer. For you, this is going to be, again, in your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. This is going to be in your psychology and the way that you think, your philosophies in life. You know, you're going to be really exploring. Understand, when this awakening happens to you, it's an awareness. It's an awareness in areas that you maybe not have thought about in a really long time, or that you may even not even want to face. It's going to stir the pot emotionally and in your identity, and it's going to create maybe an unexpected response to it. And, you know, you may have a conversation with somebody that is just makes you aware of the bigger picture. You could watch a video and it could speak to you the way that last video spoke to me. It could be something where you start researching something and then you get a direction through a messenger of, whether it be a friend, whether it be through research, whether it be through a media device, it doesn't matter. You may be attached to these messengers that you're not quite aware of. I'm telling you, the spiritual energy is unlike anything I've felt, but it's the strongest vibration I have ever felt. And, you know, I'm 44, going on 45 this month. It's my birthday month. And so I'm telling you, something is different. And you're going to feel it because you have your ruling planet sitting in Cancer. There is all this watery energy just diving deep into your subconscious realms. Into when you are sleeping, you could get extraordinary insights on your life and your future and the futures of others in your life and your future purpose, your goals. Ask for direction before you go to sleep at night and see what your dreams lead you to, because I would love to hear that. Then during the 22nd, we have a Cardinal Cross. Now this is going to be highlighting the energies that were at play during the Pluto-Uranus squares. It's all the cardinal energies. So it's going to be highlighting all those cardinal signs, and Pluto is sitting in Capricorn. So you're going to be feeling this tug of war, this loss of energy, this loss of ambition, this loss of like, I don't know which direction to go, so I'm just not going to do anything. Like you're going to just feel depleted. It's going to be a day where you're still, again, thinking about the higher purpose. You're looking at your psychology. You're really diving deep into how you take action in the world, how you pursue things, how you want your world to look. Then on the 23rd, you have the Sun, and Mercury is going to move into Leo. This is a much better energy for everybody. When Mercury was in Cancer, it just was debilitated. It didn't feel like itself. It was trying to make decisions and analytically think and have emotional reactions and base logic on emotional reactions to things. It didn't like that energy. That's not the way that this energy feels the most comfortable. So I think that for a while, I think that Mercury, you were communicating more about your emotions, but you weren't communicating all that effectively because I think you were uncomfortable. You felt out of your skin. You didn't feel like you had control over those emotional situations, so you didn't embark on them. You didn't want to deal with them at all, or you manipulated, or you did some passive-aggressive roundabout way of dealing with them to get what you wanted. But I don't think it really solved a whole lot. I just think that it made you feel weak and vulnerable, and that's not where you like to feel. So it heightens your protective instincts, and you kind of wanted to do that Heidi thing that you do. So we're back to the 23rd. Energy's going in the right direction. We've got fire and air going together, so communication is going to be much more effective. You're going to feel confident. You're going to feel like you have your old mojo back. You're going to feel like you have more control over this situation, which is very important for you. At the same time, Venus moves into Virgo. Now, when Venus moves into Virgo, guys, this is a hardcore energy. Venus in Virgo is debilitated. And so this is going to be where Venus wants love, wants the good things in life, and liked being in Leo. And now it's stuck in Virgo, where love has to be logic-based. It has to be about realistic and practical goals. It has to be about critically looking at your partners and looking at how you experience pleasure and looking at your creative endeavors and looking at your money endeavors, really dissecting them and taking the time to do that. And really, honestly, this is a benefic energy that doesn't really want to do that. It really just wants to experience the fullness in life. And so you're going to find that you may be a little off sorts in love. You may pull back. You may be a little bit more restrained. You may want to not fully embrace love like you want to, because you're feeling this connection to energy to take a look at everything. There's a lot to analyze. There's a lot to think about when you're thinking about your hopes, your dreams, and your wishes. And to think about spirituality and to get these messages from the universe. I mean, this is a lot for a Scorpio to go through. And so you're going to feel like, there's just this need to like pull back. Then, on the 25th, we're going to have Venus retrograde in Virgo. So again, this is tweaking, this is fine tuning. So anything that you were critical about, anything that was starting to come to light, any message that you were receiving, you are going to find it gets tweaked. You start to tweak it. You start to really take a look at it. You start to really know what you want and what you don't want. And you start to really look at the big picture of everything and think, I got it. I got what I'm going to do now. It's just tweaking it. It's just, that's the hard part. You know, you may find answers through friends. You may find answers through socializing and networking and getting out there and thinking about this on a larger scale. I mean, you could be fine-tuning how you connect with others, who you connect with, why you connect with them. These are all very important for you to know. Saturn's going to be benefic on this day. It's going to bless the Mars and Cancer union, which Mars is debilitated in Cancer. But it's going to say, you know, your emotional awareness is so in tune. I'm going to bless you with a high intuition and a psychic ability beyond your expectations. If you want something, if you want to passionately pursue it, you now have the instincts and the gut reactions to fully act effectively down the road towards your hopes, dreams, and wishes. We're talking long term. It may bring people into your life that's easy to network with and just expands that part of your life. It's a very beautiful day. I love the 25th. And then on the 31st, we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius. And this is a great moon. There's no heavy aspect. It's just beautiful trines everywhere. Venus retrogrades, moves back into Leo. Venus is, it's a much easier energy to manage Venus in Leo than it is Venus in Virgo. So for you, you're going to be looking at your home and family. You're going to be looking at how you want to build a life with somebody, who you want to build that life with. You're going to be thinking about, you know, do I want to move out with somebody? Do I want to combine my life with somebody? Who are the family members in my life that are the most significant? How are my relationships with those people? I mean, you're going to be really, really fine-tuning real estate. Buying real estate is a great time. You're going to, I don't recommend buying, like purchasing the real estate item, but I definitely think it's a great time to go out there and critically analyze what you want to do, because you're going to see all the details. You're going to fine-tune it. You're going to fine-tune what you want. You're going to be more realistic about your big, you know, huge many venture purchases, and it's going to be a much better time for you. All in all, this is a beautiful month. I see it has challenges. I see it has squares. I do daily readings for this reason. I do the daily readings just because energy constantly changes and shifts. And just because I've specified some days in here doesn't mean that there aren't days that are significant, because all astrologers are using. We all use different days that kind of jump out at us and make us want to talk about it. But for the most part, I think that all astrologers agree that, you know, this is going to be a much better month than May and definitely June was. And as far as the awakening, I would love to hear your guys' input. I would love to hear if that's what you guys are truly feeling in your life and what your perspective is on this whole ascension process and this giant awakening. I hope you have a fantastic month, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.